the land. Of course, you are tuned in to the number one station on the net, the Keith Harris Show. And of course, I'm your host, Keith Harris. And it is a very exciting time for me right now. I know I probably sound crazy. Y'all probably thinking to yourself, what is he talking about? Like, a very exciting time. But, this special guest we have on the phone, I consider to be a very well-respected lady. And she is doing some amazing things, just in the film industry and in her contributions, as well as giving others a platform to be able to contribute as well. And not only that, but we also, in a certain way, share the same passion for being radio personalities. So, without any further ado, I would like to introduce to the rest of the world, for any of you who don't know who she is, which I'm sure a lot of you do know who she is, it is the one and the only JoAnn Thomas.
Hello, Keith.
Hey, how you doing, JoAnn?
Oh, I'm doing just fine.
You doing great?
Yep. Staying busy.
I know that's, look, yeah, and you have things to keep you busy, too.
Yeah, usually.
What'd you say, usually?
Usually, yeah. There are times when I have a little downtime.
I know that's right. Well, first, I guess I'll start out with one of my normal easygoing questions is, what's the weather like over there, JoAnn? I know it's 70 degrees over here.
Sun is shining. Not a cloud in the sky. It was cold the last couple days, but it's warming up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
San Diego is, the place to be.
San Diego, huh? Mm-hmm. Right. So, look, different directions we can go. We can go left, we can go right, we can go sideways, we can go a few different directions. But let's start out talking about the radio show, if you will. Let's kind of speak about that first, and just no. You know what? I'm going to rewind. How did you get into the media field? Because you're in to the film festivals, then you're doing the radio show. Just what opened the door for you, just in this whole entertainment genre?
Well, I've told my story like a million times.
Sorry, you know how we do.
And I'll try to give you the shortest version. My husband and I, well, he's a film reviewer for Matchflix.com.
Oh.
And he's into movies, and he's always going to movies, and we got invited to a premiere up in LA, and I went, and it was the movie was Children of Sorrow, starring Bill Oberst Jr., and it just changed my whole outlook on horror movies.
Wow.
And then after a while, we'd go to more premieres and stuff, and we had gone to a premiere back in August of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie was supposed to play at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it didn't play until 11:30 at night.
What? That's way too long.
And there was nobody there because, we stayed. We were there the whole time. So we stayed. But there was really nobody in the audience. The director, his friend, Mike, and myself, and maybe 3-4 other people. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody thought it was going to be at 1 o'clock, and they weren't going to stay that late.
Right, a whole day.
So in the course of the day, we all went across the street to a local tavern, and we were just kind of chit-chatting, and Mike said, well, we could do better than that. And then a good friend of ours, Matt Chase, said, well, why don't you? And so after it was all over, I came home, and I thought about it, and I talked with them a little bit. But they weren't gung-ho. They were like, I'm going to get out there and do it tomorrow.
Right.
Right. I think if I waited on them, we'd still be sitting there waiting.
Yeah. So the woman had to take the lead.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I went and took care of all the legal parts to set up a business. And that was in September of that year. So it was like, what? I don't know. Actually, it was 9 weeks from the time we started everything, or started talking about it, until we announced that we were going to do our first festival in 2014.
Right.
And that we had made that big announcement on Halloween. Because we were going to have our film festival on Halloween weekend.
Which is what's better than that. And now, sorry, let me cut you off right for one quick second. Because I know how busy you say you are. You're a busy lady. Are you typing in the background or something, or is your headpiece?
No, I'm not.
Is your headpiece knocking? Because I keep something's clicking at the same time.
It might be my connection.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it gets loose.
Okay, I can hear you. Okay, because I can hear you clearly. I can hear your voice and stuff clearly, but there's just something kind of seems like it's kind of knocking or something in the background. But okay, let's continue on. So Halloween, all right. Halloween is the set time for this to begin. Go ahead.
And then by Thanksgiving weekend, we announced our first film, and we continued to announce all up until August of 2014.
Wow.
And I decided that most film festivals, we have a different model than most film festivals. We actually are open for submissions year-round. And we take more time and give our filmmakers more time to get their stuff together.
Right. You know what? Yeah, okay.
It's usually like maybe 4 to 6 months max for most film festivals.
Right. And people are rushing, so it's filmmakers are having to rush and get everything done on time, and it gets rough on them like that, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. And all of our filmmakers really kind of love the way we did it. I actually keep they call it, on Facebook, they have a secret group. You can set up a group that only people that are allowed in or invited in can stay in that group. And I have one of those for all our official selections.
Oh, okay.
Each year, so I can give them information that's not going out to the public at certain points throughout the year.
Right.
And keep them informed about what we're doing.
Which is important because so many people are waiting. I mean, fans and everybody who's hungry for these films are sitting there for months and months like, okay, when is this going to start? And when they have to wait like that, it makes it a lot easier for them to miss dates as well.
Right. But our people do a really good job of getting everything to us on time. And like I say, they really kind of like the idea of being informed. And our festival is kind of like a big family affair.
Right.
We have, actually our first family is the first group of films that we had, the filmmakers that were involved last year. And we are still in touch with a lot of them.
Huh. And so they submit, so they come back and try to submit like each year and things like that?
Yeah, what happens is every film that's accepted gets what I call a legacy certificate. They get a certificate for $25 off their next submission.
Oh, okay.
With no expiration date. So if they submit this year, that's fine. If they submit 2 years from now, that's fine. They still get that $25 off.
Oh, now that's okay, because that's like, there's no limit on that. You know what I mean? Or they get, for so long. How do you all go about judging? I mean, do you have a panel that judges the films, or?
We have some judges. I don't know if they're on our page. We've been trying to get them to write up their little bio so we can put it on the page and let everybody know who they are. Right. That review the films. Some of them write reviews and post those once they've seen a film. But we have a special critique that they fill out, and then we go by consensus. Whatever. They have like 5 different choices. Definitely would you recommend this, etc., etc. To hell no. and we just take the consensus of the people that review. So they may not all review every single movie.
Right.
And from there we go out and post our selections.
And in you guys' position, I've got to ask this question: Is there any? Have you ever had people who've got mad at you? I mean, filmmakers out there always have to understand and respect the game and respect the fact that, listen, if something, matter of fact, all of us do. When our work isn't always liked, we just have to go back to the lab. Try to right our wrongs and come out better next time. Have you ever had any disgruntled people or filmmakers just because their film did not get accepted or wasn't liked?
To be honest, we haven't. But
Good.
then we've only done one festival, so and you have to consider the fact that when we started all this, we were an unknown entity.
Okay. Well, you're pretty known now, JoAnn. I mean, I'm hearing about you. Look, I've heard about you quite a bit. So you guys are making some trails now.
Well, I hope so, because we have a long-term goal.
Right.
And I told you about that last night. It's basically to be the Sundance of indie horror. And we will, over the years, extend our run from 3 days to 10 days.
Wow. 10 days. That's a good long time right there. I mean, and to put something together now in a 3 day festival that you guys have, I'm assuming you have showings of films throughout the whole 3 days, or is it kind of the introduction and just get together and the chatting part at first? So how does the 3 days work?
Well, last year we showed about 36 films
in 3 days.
In 3 days.
Whoa.
We had 3 short film blocks, which were about 2 hours each, and had between 6 and 7 films in each one.
Wow.
And then all the rest of the time were feature films.
Mm-hmm.
And we started at 10 o'clock. We started at 11 o'clock in the morning with the films. At 10 o'clock, on each day, we had a seminar for people.
Mm-hmm.
One was more for actors, one was more for filmmakers, and the other one was a judges panel.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that people could find out what we were doing and learn something while they were there.
Right.
A lot of networking went on. People got jobs.
Yeah,
from the fest,
which is a great thing.
And I didn't hear anything real negative at all from anyone. Right. At least it didn't get back to me directly.
Right. Well, you know what? Word usually travels. So had there been some negative things, it probably would have. So that's good, because then that meant everything was all great word. Listen, did you have a favorite horror, or do you have a favorite horror film?
I have to say, Children of Sorrow is probably my favorite, and that's the original, not the one that came out through Lionsgate. The original film only was shown twice, 2 places, before it got picked up, and they added footage to the original director's cut, and I didn't particularly like that in the version that's out in the public right now. Right.
I say this all the time. I usually go and try to watch movies every night, and it's crazy that you mention that, because when you first came out and said children, I'm thinking Children of the Corn was getting ready to fly out your mouth. But you said Children of Sorrow, and then it just hit me, because I actually crossed that movie last night, and I looked at it, and you know how it is when you're looking up movies. You want to pick one, but you spend 30 minutes going through 20 of them. So I crossed that movie, but I'm actually going to, now that you mention that, I'm going to look that up and give that a watch tonight. That's going to go on my list, as a matter of fact. So thank you.
It's a great movie.
Okay, so thank you for that. Now, what are some of the things that you guys look for? For submissions. Like, what are the criteria, the credentials?
Well, we have 2 different groups of movies, obviously shorts and features. We want the newest and out there cutting edge stuff. We don't show any old movies.
And but when you say old, do you mean like old? Like, is there a year limitation on it of when it was shot? Like, it cannot.
We kind of go for within a year or two from when we have the festival.
Okay.
But sometimes we do have some discretion. We can go back a little bit further than that if we want to, but we don't show any like 80s stuff or 70s stuff.
Right.
It's all, we just want the new stuff, and we promote the new people involved in indie horror.
Right.
The actors, the directors, all the people that are out there doing new stuff.
Right, and fresh. And to people out there, I'm sorry, I did not mean to laugh at anyone, but I agree, because I just imagine somebody, like you say, somebody's from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Somebody with an 80s film trying to put it into to the film festival, and not to say that their works aren't good, but I guess at this point, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess at this point, if it's a film from back then and it's going into the film festival now, is there a possibility that could even happen, though? That a film that long ago could make a way now?
It's possible if they never actually put it out, like they went and they shot it back then and then they didn't edit it till now.
Right.
No, it is possible. But I doubt that there's very many out there
that's going to do that. Now, do you all sometimes get submissions? I guess you're looking forward to getting submissions in the future from people in other countries as well, or?
Last year we got 2 submissions from Canada and 1 from Italy.
Oh wow! Okay.
And we have had people contact us from England and France, and I think Scotland, but I can't remember for sure.
Oh.
But there was issues that they couldn't submit last year because it was too late.
Oh, okay. Now, doing and I know we talked about this, we got into this a little bit last night, but doing this festival on Halloween must be fun. I mean, I'm sure the people are coming out, they're having a good time, and even people are showing up in costume, I assume, too, or are they?
They do. We encourage our filmmakers to come in costume. And we had a lot of people that did that. And downtown San Diego, the Gas Lamp District, where we held the festival, had 2 zombie walks on the weekend. And the streets were packed. Some of the streets were actually closed because there were so many people down there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, all of them were in costumes.
Right.
So everybody kind of did their own thing.
Hey, you know what? I look, a little joke here off the record, but look, they're giving you guys, for some of the filmmakers out there, if you're not too sure, not too confident about your work, this is a great opportunity to come in costume, because if your film does not get the reaction that you like, at least you'll be in costume. And
nobody will know who you are.
Exactly. You could just kind of slip out the door or whatever it is. I don't know if you thought about that before, JoAnn, but hey, that
totally crossed my mind, because all the people I know, our directors and our actors and actresses, they all want to be seen. It doesn't matter.
I know that could get hilarious. But that's got to be a good time. Now, going on to the radio show as well, because you all have a radio show. Is that in any way kind of geared towards the festival, or have you all found ways to be able to collaborate the two in any, or is it a total separate entity?
We do a lot of festival related interviews. Mm-hmm. Actually, how I ended up starting in working with Scott Geiter,
big shouts out to
Gruesome Herzog, is that he was recommended as a judge, and he contacted me and asked me if I wanted to guest host with him and all this, and I really wasn't too sure about it because I had never done anything like that. And then I just said, why not? I need to stretch. I need to come out of my comfort zone.
Right.
And because I knew Bill Oberts, he was my first interview that I worked on.
Oh, wow.
And that was in December of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I've done a lot of interviews. Most of them are horror related, but we also interview other people. We interviewed an actor and an actress from Jailbait, which is not really a horror movie. And we actually go back and do some interviews with our directors specifically about the festival.
Right. You know, and being first of all, I want to say, give a special shout out to Scott as well too. If you're listening out there, I know Scott, was on social media early, and he looked up, he was like, "Hey, that's my co-host." You know what I'm saying? And,
yeah, I saw that. And maybe he's jealous.
And look, I was getting ready to put up there. I was like, yeah, she's rolling with me for the day, Scott. But I was like, no. But big shouts out to big shouts out to Scott. And you got an invitation anytime, Scott, to come on the show and sit down and talk with us as well. We love what you do. As a host of a show, and I guess you and I can kind of go back and forth on this a little bit. Do you ever? And I say this because I've never actually interviewed, or I've never actually had a conversation with another. Well, I have, but have talked about this with another radio show personality on my show. When you're interviewing people, do you ever do you ever forget what you meant to say next, or do you have so many things to say?
All the time.
Okay, all right.
Well, see, the good thing about our particular podcast is it's pre-recorded.
Oh.
So Scott goes in and edits out all those really, really bad things.
Well,
but he leaves a lot in there too.
Look, well, it's good Scott knows what he's doing, because whenever I try to pre-record JoAnn and I go in and cut anything out, people can tell that I cut it. Because I'll stop with the word that end. I'll stop with the word plus and pick back up with the word we, and so people can kind of hear that choppiness in there. But I had to ask that. But how do you enjoy it now that you've been doing it for a while? Do you like doing it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Although I'm not as knowledgeable about horror as Scott is, mm-hmm. He teaches me a lot. And generally, I ask the questions that are kind of unrelated, the kind of questions that somebody that isn't knowledgeable would ask. And sometimes they can be real simplistic, but there are people out there who don't understand the genre.
Oh.
And so I give it a different perspective.
Right.
And I laugh a lot.
and look, and that's good. The thing about it is, do you ever get in a position sometimes where, okay, you're like, okay, I have to do this, and don't give yourself away, but do you ever get in a position where you're doing a show maybe and you haven't seen the film?
Oh, all the time. That's why I have Scott by my side. Well, right. He's actually in Paradise, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah. So
we do our thing cross country.
Oh, okay, and that's a good thing to be able to do that. Now, what's some of the plans? Do you have anything planned, or without giving much away? What are you guys looking like? For the Fantastic Festival for 2015. I mean, have you already? Are the submissions already coming in, or?
We already have a few official selections. In fact, we just made one announcement today.
Oh, yeah.
Today, we announced the official selection of Cut. And I know just recently that you interviewed David.
Indeed, I did. That's right, David Roundtree.
And he is a really great guy.
He is.
I met him I went up to LA for the last viewing of the premiere. week and met him and had a good time. And he gave me the Blu-ray on the red carpet.
Isn't that one of the perks, one of the pluses of the game?
Well, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I know, right?
We also have a Grim Becoming out of New York.
Okay.
Let's see what else we have. Oh, we have The Scare House is coming from Canada.
Oh, wow. And Canada comes with some pretty good films, too.
Oh, it's a good film. I don't watch a lot of the films. I'd rather wait and see them on the big screen at the festival if I get time, which I never get time. But this one here, I actually took time to watch, and I do have to watch A Grim Becoming because that was when I interviewed Bill, the first interview I did. That was one of the films we talked about.
Right.
Let's see what else we got.
And shouts out to Bill too, an amazing actor. Wow.
Yep, great guy all around.
Yeah.
And we have a few shorts that we have already selected. So we're going.
Now, look, putting this together and fellas, guys, all the men on the team, don't get mad at me for saying this, but I kind of call JoAnn captain of the ship here. But being in your position, I know it's not easy, but how does it get just bringing all of this together? I mean, you're responsible for putting getting the films together, getting the locations together. Everybody's got to be single file, and just how do you do it? Chaotically.
We're learning as we go.
Okay.
To be honest with you, right now I'm in the process of securing our venue, so I'm hoping to be at the same theaters we were last year, but they haven't got back to me yet. And then once we do that, then everything starts picking up because we can get advertising for our program and sponsors and things like that we need to provide the services that we're going to provide.
Okay.
And just recently, Mike and I went to a play at the San Diego School for Creative and Performing Arts. And we're making arrangements with them and another school, Garfield High School, for volunteers for our festival.
Oh, okay.
And we call all our volunteers minions. Right. And they love it. And we put their names in the program, and we do all that, and we give them a certificate at the end, and they actually get high school credits for volunteering for the festival.
Really? Wow. Okay.
And this year, my friend Matt Chasen is going to be giving a talk about how actors can promote themselves. And so with the School of Creative and Performing Arts, we are going to give them an actual discount to come in and hear his presentation. Oh,
which is a big deal, because for a lot of people who want to get into this industry, it's important, I feel like, for people to get to learn the ins and the outs, and not just, feel like filmmakers and even doing what you do with maintaining a festival is something that's all about fun. People hear the laughs and the jokes, but there's a lot of work that goes behind this, right, JoAnn?
Yes, there is, and it's a business like anything else, and that's a big part of it, because that's part of my learning process, is how to actually run a business, because we used our retirement money to pay for the festival. So we have no retirement. So it's kind of like we have to get to the point where we're not losing money. Right, because you're investing quite a bit. Yeah, but we're moving along pretty well. I'll say that. Like I said, everybody had a good time. Nobody really knew much about the problems behind the scenes, because obviously something like this, you always have some problems. I do have a funny story, though. You'll like this. Okay. We had a kickoff party, and it was in a hotel. and it was outside, kind of like on a veranda type thing, where their pool was. And this is the only time you're ever going to hear this kind of story, because we had the first and probably the only.
Should I hold on? Let me hold on. I'm going to fall out laughing. I see it coming.
Party on the rooftop with a pool where we actually had naked people.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me go back here, because I wasn't expecting you to go that route. So hold on. Hold on. So there was a pool party, and there were naked people.
No, it wasn't really a pool party. The party was like around the pool. And we weren't really using the pool. But some of our guests
decided to get naked.
Decided to get naked and get in the pool.
Oh, wow. Well, that's got... Hey, look, they were having a good time.
Oh, sure they were. And one of the other problems that happened with that was that on the main highway between L.A. and San Diego, a crane got turned over.
Oh, wow.
And so half of our guests didn't make it.
Oh, no. So, wait a minute. So unfortunately, the crane turns over, but here it is now. Half of the guests are missing out on this party, where the other half of the guests have gotten naked around the pool.
Well, only two or three.
Wow.
I think everybody was kind of like, wow.
Did those people know that they were going to get naked?
I don't think so. Don't think so. I don't think it was in their plan. But the pool was there. Hey. They jumped in. And then the security guy from the hotel said they had to get out. But he was kind of looking the other way.
Yeah. Let me ask you, and you know, look, and I don't know if they're listening, whoever those two people were. I don't want to say anything, but was it two guys? Look, this is a little something for the listeners out there.
There was a guy, at least one guy and one girl. I think there were two guys and a girl.
Oh man, did they come to the party together?
Yeah, they all knew each other.
Yeah, holy moly!
And of course, I was busy doing other stuff, so I didn't even see any of this.
Right.
I missed the whole damn thing.
Oh man!
I was getting people in there and taking tickets and doing all that stuff while everybody else was over, because there was like a building where we had our step and repeat so we could do pictures. So I couldn't see the pool from where I was sitting.
Right. And in the meantime, while you're taking care of business, you got a full blown bonanza going on in the back.
It was rather unusual. Luckily, I don't think we'll ever have another party near a pool, and I know we won't be at the same hotel. So
look, that's how they've cut that. But you know what though? I mean, hey, this happens though, JoAnn, right? I mean, this is the field you're in, right? Like this goes on.
Well, I don't know. I've never heard of anybody doing quite what they did, but people do get a little outrageous.
Hey, wait, look, if it's a few drinks at the party, you can almost expect anything. Oh man. Well, hey, I don't know, but look, I guess I'll try to keep me posted on when your parties are going down. Then.
Oh, we'll let everybody know. We always have the kickoff party the Thursday before the weekend.
Right. So they going from costume parties to butterball naked. Oh, y'all heard it. Listen, bringing up some other things as well. Can you talk about your costume designs for a little bit? Are you still doing those, or?
Oh no, I'm not doing them anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I used to be scenic designer / artistic director for a theater group.
Right.
I worked with them for about 18 years, and I never told them I knew how to sew. So I started out doing scenery and doing the program and the graphic arts and all that stuff. And then the last year that we did shows at that particular school, I actually told them I knew how to sew, and I made like 30 long dresses for Hello Dolly.
Wow.
Along with doing all the scenery And I've been on stage twice, actually. My first time on stage was a lead role in Fiddler on the Roof.
Whoa, Fiddler on the Roof.
I played Golda.
Okay.
And then I also played one of the nuns actually the nun that opens the show for Sound of Music.
Wow. Have you told anybody about this on your show before, JoAnn?
No, not really. Because first of all, I'm not an actor.
Right.
I mean, I just did it because Fiddler on the Roof was my all-time favorite musical, and I like Sound of Music, and I just, got quirky and decided to do it.
Look, I asked that question because I said, just like you say you didn't tell them that you knew how to sew. I was like, you're being really you're modest because you hadn't, talking about, getting into the festival, the way it sounds, a lot of people would feel like you are just totally brand new to just the industry in general, but you're not. Like you've dabbled a bit in the past, just in different areas.
Right. And my husband was the music director there, and he was there for like 40 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
So we came from a theater background. Standard thing in the theater is the show always goes on time. It doesn't matter if the actors are in their places. It doesn't matter if the people are in their seats. If the curtain is at 7 o'clock, the curtain opens at 7 o'clock.
Right.
And we took that and the fact that we have done meetings, because we both worked in pharmacy as technicians. We did a lot of meetings, planning and stuff. And basically, we decided that our film festival, everything goes off on time. Mm-hmm. And believe me, when you're talking 36 films and getting them all to start at the time that you scheduled them for is not an easy task. But we did it.
Oh, right.
Because a lot of the actors and the directors, because they're from Hollywood, and in Hollywood they kind of hold everything for them.
Uh-huh.
So if they're standing on the red carpet just chit-chatting or getting pictures taken, and the movie's supposed to start at 7 and then it starts at 8 o'clock, you get the audience, the people that come to see the movies, are antsy by then.
Right.
And it's just not fair to them. I mean, we've driven, it's like a 2 to 3 hour trip up to LA for me.
Right.
And if I'm going to go to a premiere or whatever, I'm going to go and I'm going to try to get there early because, first of all, chances are I might get lost.
Yeah.
So I leave early. And I get there and and they start the red carpet thing, and then I sit there and wait and wait and wait, and then after the movie's over, they want to do their Q&A and all that stuff, and then I have to drive another 2 to 3 hours back home. Right.
Wow. So yeah, you kind of want things to be on time, right? Because you got the distance to go and all of that, so it's important.
So that's very critical to the way we work. Mm-hmm. And like I said, everything went off on time. The other thing that we do is we treat everyone, actors, fans, filmmakers, producers, everybody that's at our festival has to be a horror fan.
Right.
And we treat them as such because you can't be in this industry and not be a fan of horror.
No, you cannot. Horror. Look, horror is one of the main genres.
And the funny part about it is, by treating everybody equally as fans, it changes the dynamic. We're not kowtowing to other people. We're not saying, "Oh, you're better than the fan that's standing here watching you get your picture taken on the red carpet."
Right.
Everybody is equal at the festival.
Right. That's extremely important. As I have talks with people sometimes, it's important for these filmmakers because listen, if you don't do your part to keep everybody level and on the same page, then you might end up with a festival full of simply filmmakers, right?
possibly happen. I don't think it would. I mean, we didn't. Our biggest problem last year was we didn't get the coverage in San Diego that we should have. Oh. And whether it was the magazine that we were trying to get to write an article or our fault, the ball got dropped. Oh. And this particular magazine that we were considering is put out at every single grocery store in San Diego County.
Wow.
And it would have given us the coverage we needed.
Okay.
But didn't happen.
Okay. Now, talking about one thing I want to get into before we have to go is the Lon Cheney Award.
Okay. What would you like to know about the Lon Cheney Award?
I don't know. I don't know. Should I have asked?
Well, here's what happened. Early on, when we were talking about this, my husband and I decided we wanted to give out an achievement award.
Right.
And we had already decided that Bill Obers Jr. wasn't going to get it because he works very hard and has such a body of work that it's amazing. And not only in horror. I mean, he does a lot of other stuff, too.
Right. So
we had already decided this. So I told Bill that we were going to do this achievement award. And that's all he knew is we were going to do this achievement award. And his manager said that he had to come to the festival the last night. He couldn't do anything else. He had to be there. Because Matt knew that I had made arrangements. And what I did was I was looking for a name for the award because just an Outstanding Achievement Award is kind of blasé, you know. And I heard an interview that Bill did where he was talking about Lon Cheney and Lon Cheney Jr. and how he looked up to them and they were some of his inspiration. And I thought, gosh, that might be a good idea.
Okay.
So I contacted, found their website, and I contacted them, and I asked them if I could, about licensing and all this stuff. And I probably contacted them like every month from December through whenever they gave me the approval. And so we paid for the license, and I invited them to come to the festival to give out the award.
Oh, okay.
And right about the time that they actually agreed that we could get the license, out came this Vincent Price Award up in L.A.
Oh.
And then somebody else came up with this Bela Lugosi Award.
Yeah, look,
and I'm thinking, I've been working on this for months.
And now everybody's
doing it before I get my chance.
Right. And everybody's wanting to give it out an award now.
And I was really getting a little upset. And then I thought about it. I said, Lon Chaney's got to be better than all those. And so on the plaque that we gave Bill, it actually has a picture of Lon Chaney tipping his hat, which I really love. So you've got this award with an oval thing of Lon Chaney tipping his hat to the recipient. Okay. Which is, I just think it's really cool. And it has our basic, we do everything with a laurel that's made out of popcorn and soda. Because we're all eating popcorn and soda.
Right. It's the movies. Exactly.
And then it also has our logo on it. And a little secret about the logo. I didn't design it. I usually do most of our graphics. But what I wanted to do is, I had a picture of a couple people in the theater yelling, screaming at a movie. And I sent it, we had a friend who actually kind of donated the logo. He had one of his staff work on it. And I sent him a picture of my husband and I. And I told him that what I wanted was kind of like a silhouette type thing, but I wanted the two people in the center to be Mike and myself. Right. Without glasses. So the two people in the center of our logo are Mike and myself.
Oh, you mean the logo for the festival logo?
Yes.
Wow. The one I have? The one you sent me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I got to take a closer look at that.
which is also on all of our awards. So.
Oh, okay. And you know what? I'm glad you're doing that too, because I'm me myself. You know, like you just said, everybody's coming out with an award here and an award there. I'm campaigning for the JoAnn Thomas Award.
I don't think it's ever going to be one.
Hey, don't say that now. Hey, I don't see why not. So
I guess it would have to be a Lifetime Achievement Award since I'm so old.
Well, either that or you could be giving out awards, right? We would call it the Joe. You know, if they're making good films, they can get the JoAnn Thomas Award. So you know.
Well, I think that this year I'm actually going to be presenting all the awards.
Okay.
At the festival. Okay. Which is going to be really funny because last year when I tried to stop everybody from talking and start the awards, I didn't know how to hold the damn microphone. I had about 4 people telling me what to do.
So everybody hears that now. Make sure JoAnn has staff make sure she has staff on deck when it's time for the show to go down. Make sure service is in the building. Absolutely. Listen, JoAnn, look, it's been it's been a pleasure. It's been a blast. You know, as we knew it would be. You know, you're high spirited, great attitude, and you're obviously a leader, and that's, you know, sincerely important in this, to be well rounded as you are. And you know, again, on behalf of, I'm sure, so many people out there, just for even creating the fantastic horror film festival, you know, you're giving people, like I said before, a platform to air their movies and show what they're capable of doing. And so I'm sure a lot of people thank you for that, you know?
I actually had an actor in a film who had never been on a red carpet.
Wow.
And one of our goals, we don't want to be regional because we want people on the East Coast and the Midwest to be able to bring their films to the West Coast because they never get that opportunity. Mm-hmm. So. And
wow. So they had opportunity to do that. That had to be a great feeling. Look, I'm gonna try to show up this 2015 with a costume. I'm coming in costume, but I'm gonna be like everybody else though. I still want to be seen. So you know, I might take it off.
Well, you're more than welcome to get a red carpet photo.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Listen, we got to get ready to get out of here. Listen, JoAnn, it's been wonderful talking to you. Everybody out there, this is the amazing JoAnn Thomas, radio person. Oh, look, real quick, plug in what time you guys' show comes on so everybody can tune into the show, to the radio show.
Actually, we have a Facebook page, and we just post them whenever they're done. Whenever Scott's done.
Okay.
And he posts them on, like, everywhere on social media. And he has a web page, but I can't remember the name of it.
All right. Well, we'll get that information to make sure it gets up so everybody out there tunes into it. Listen, you know, it's been amazing talking to you as well. Look, not enough time. Just not even enough time. Like, you got to come back on the show sometime and let's just kind of kick it some more. Or, I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky enough to come on you guys' show and we'll finish the conversation.
Hey, we can do anything we want.
You're right. You know what? You are right. You are very right about that, JoAnn. Thank you for letting everybody. She's right. We can. We're in control here.
And it's been a pleasure for me.
Me as well, JoAnn. Listen, we love what you do. Keep up the great work. Everybody out there, in case you tuned in halfway through, which you better been listening all the way through, but in case you tuned in halfway through, you can check this complete conversation with JoAnn Thomas and myself, Keith Harris, right here on the Keith Harris Show on social media in just a few hours. It'll be up. Make sure you go through and check it out. JoAnn Thomas. We look for the JoAnn Thomas Award. Look, we love you. We love you very much, and we'll be talking to you soon, JoAnn.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Everybody out there all across the land, that was the wonderful JoAnn Thomas. I call her the boss myself, the boss lady. But listen, again, that was really a big deal for me. It was an honor, you know, to have her on the show today, and I was really excited. Make sure you tune in tomorrow as well. Tune in every day to the Keith Harris Show on Hotline Radio, the #1 station on the net. I'm out of here.